I'm here with the Nissan Frontier, the 2019. This one's the Pro 4X edition. I'll be talking more about the truck in general though, because I didn't really have a chance to off-road this. It's a little bit long in its tooth. Interestingly enough, there is a third generation of this truck, just not on this particular model sold in the US. So they just said, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So if you say, hey, that doesn't look like a 2019 and you're not in the US, that might be why. As I go through, I'll be talking about some of the features that it's missing that other, trucks that are like 2019s might have. And also, if you really need those features at the end, obviously it'll be up to you to decide on a small, practical, kind of utilitarian truck. So let's go get started. For a truck, this last major refresh was in 2009. It is fairly modern looking. They've done a pretty good job, keeping it fresh. On a truck that's easier because the design just can't change that much. I like the roof rails on this one. They kind of make it look rugged, as do these wheels. Obviously, that's part of the off-road package. It does not have xenon headlights, even on this pretty high-end trim. Don't even believe that's available, at least on the ones in the States. A lot of trims have the 6-cylinder. It's kind of the engine I would recommend for this truck. Yeah, there's no hinging on there, so I'll be right back. Not a whole lot to look at here. I don't think they could actually fit that much bigger of an engine in this truck, and I don't know that you need it for this small size of truck. The accelerations we'll talk about more in the drive review. Not too much to look at here. I like this V6 engine. I can't speak to the 4-cylinder. If you own one, let me know in the comments down below. You see, though, there's two options on the bed itself. And this one is, I believe, the shorter one, which is 1 foot shorter. Usually I don't jump back here so much, but on a truck, it's kind of a big deal. This, again, is not hinged, so you have to hold it as it comes down. That could be less to break, though. It's not super, huge. Probably putting it up is a little bit, probably some heft, but it's not bad. And again, here in the back, not a bad looking vehicle overall. Just kind of clean. Inside, it's not bad. Again, the word utilitarian comes up. Clear to read gauges there, nothing really digital. One thing I noticed that's kind of a quirk of it is the temperature is up there, which I know a lot of older cars have. You don't see that too much anymore. You'll still see a compass up there, but not the temperature. You do get on all S trims and above, 7-inch screen standard. This one has the Roxford Fosgate, probably not necessary, but it does sound good. The bass is really good in there, which is kind of interesting because a lot of Nissans use Bose system. You do get dual zone, or you can get at least dual zone climate control, which I've seen a lot of older trucks not have. This is for the 4-wheel drive system. You can get heated seats, stability control, rear parking sensors was nice to have, but it does come standard with a backup camera, as all cars in the US now do. And then there's also an all-wheel drive lock mode. And then there's only one USB port I found, but there are 2 of these. There's one here. And then as you come back to this console here, there's a second one here. A pretty deep console, actually. Not huge, but it does, go down quite a bit. And then, of course, there's little storage areas there. I think this is probably for change. I'm not 100% sure. But there is actually storage up there. Storage there as well. Let's check out the glove box. It looks like there'd be 2 separate sections here, and sure enough, there are. This one would maybe be for your instruction manual, although the manual's in here. What this is fuse box. I thought it was extra storage. So we can continue now. The fuse box is back on. Yeah, sure enough, the manual does fit quite. Does it? Yes, it does fit quite nicely up in there. So you can, do that if you even keep a manual in the car. Sometimes people don't. Then coming around here to this door, you get a cup holder and you get quite a bit of storage back here that runs fairly long. And that's kind of just about it. There's not much more to show you on this car. These seats are comfortable. I don't know what the standard ones are like if you own one of these. Not with these seats, let me know in the comments, but these seats are quite comfortable. This, I bet, is this for the lumbar? I'm thinking it is. I will let you know once I'm in that seat what that does. While I'm up here, the safety rating on this truck is like, I think 3-4 stars, something like that. And I'm guessing that's because it has to do with the frontal overlap testing for the front, which wasn't updated on this car, but it being a, you know, tall truck, I'm not sure if that's that big a deal. I just thought I'd kind of throw it in there. It doesn't have like a lot of things, like I don't see any knee airbags over here and things like that just because of its age. There are airbags that come out of the seats and stuff like that for you though, for the side. All right, and here I am in the back of this truck. 2 6-feet people could fit in, you know, the one with 4 doors. I'll just show you more of the storage back here. There's not that many features to speak of. There's a little window you can slide open and close there, and of course power windows, but feature wise, that's about it. It being just under 6 feet, you know, when I drive, so compared, this is the seat, you know, way more back. So, you know, this could take 4 people fairly comfortably. Let's check what this is. So this is cup holders pop out of there. Nothing too crazy there. This up here, I don't think it actually does anything. It looks like it would come up, but it doesn't. Up here too, and then you get a map pocket. No second one, but I'm not sure how many people use those. And then you get an extra cup holder here and storage. Not sure why you need 4 cup holders back here, but you have them. Let's see the underseat storage. Some of them fold forward, and there's always different trick which way it goes. This one folds up, as you can see here. So there's room for like a, that's nice. Nissan has a first aid kit in there. Not a whole lot of storage there, but it's definitely like a room for some extra tools or whatever you'd put down there. I'll go show you what's under this seat as well. Or you could just fold it up just to get more space in there for bringing extra things you might not want in the bed. I'll say as I'm pulling it open, these doors do open and shut very well and kind of nicely, which I was kind of impressed with. I wasn't sure they would. So you actually, I guess, don't get any storage under this one if you have the Rockford Fosgate, because that's where your nice size ported subwoofer is. Let me know if you don't have this system, if you get a little extra storage under here. And then of course you can fold these down as well. So you can put them up if you want to put big items, or you can fold these down. Not 100% sure why you'd want to do that. I guess if you were putting something back here that didn't need to go down there, and you didn't want to, you know, hurt your interior materials. But yeah, behind these seats, no extra storage there or anything like that. They do manage to put the tire jack hidden back there. Thought that was pretty clever, actually. Let me know in the comments. I believe this is a hill descent control option there. You can light the cargo lamp, pretty standard across trucks. You can get automatic headlights on it, are here. This steering wheel, for example, does have a manual up and down feature. Again, that's something you'd have to decide, is that something I really need on a small kind of rugged utilitarian pickup? Also, there's no keyless start. There's a remote and a, you know, just manual key there. Last one I noticed, because I was driving this at night, there's no, doesn't appear to be a lighted vanity mirror there. I guess you can use these lights if you do need to, you know, check on how you look at night or whatever. Pages I actually quite like. Here we go. So it's just a little button there. So all the basic functions are there. Trips, distance to empties, like a range. So, you know, it actually does have that feature. 16 around town for the most part. That's not too bad. I've driven, put about 100 miles on it. Cruise control, and not a lot of safety features, like there's I don't believe you can order blind spot monitoring, things like that on here. But it does have pretty good visibility, actually, I will say. Get it. Nice big sunglass holder. I thought this would be a second storage area, but actually it looks like microphones for like the Bluetooth and things like that. Well, let me see if there's voice activation. There actually is some
category like phone.
There actually is some voice activation on this system that you can get. Again, I just usually use, you know, the voice features on my phone itself and then just like pair it. But you can, you know, get those features, so that's kind of cool.
Canceling voice recognition.
So, you know, a basic navigation system. Again, I always use my phone. It's nice that this 7-inch screen is standard as well, and that's about it. One thing that is nice is this is I believe it's a 5-speed transmission, which is kind of neat. All right, let's get this bad boy out on the road and see how it does. I've lived with it for about a week now. It was a 5-speed transmission, as I mentioned there, which some trucks, you know, of this age would have had a 4-speed. So I'm going to assume Nissan at some point did update that. The steering is kind of light around town. Even for a truck, it's not bad, but it does firm up as you go faster, as we'll talk about. There's no sport mode or anything like that. but I kind of feel like that's not really what these trucks are all about. You do have to get into the brakes a fair bit for them to grip, but once you do, they're all right. Again, none of these trucks are going to brake all that well, though. As I was saying, in this V6, though, off-the-line acceleration, it's pretty fast. It's pretty linear. There's a bit of body roll on this guy. I assume that would be less if you didn't have the off-road package, because these shocks probably have more play in them. I haven't driven both, so I can't say that for sure. Again, you're not really going to be doing anything that sporty in a small compact pickup truck, probably anyway. So there is that. But there are other, small trucks, like say the Ridgeline, which is not a ladder-on frame construction like this. The Honda Ridgeline probably handles a little better because it's, more of a car chassis. I mean, it's technically the same chassis, I believe, as the Pilot and the their minivan, so it's kind of interesting. The all-wheel drive system, I tested a little bit in the rain. It works, pretty well in 4 high. It does its job. I think a lot of these people don't necessarily buy these trucks for how they drive, but just because they're affordable little workhorses. And like the MPGs, they're definitely not class leading on this guy. But I will say this, it actually gets, decent mileage. I was kind of impressed. It did a lot better, and I'm sure that has to do with that 5-speed transmission than I thought it would. On the highway is where this engine definitely shows its age and gives up a little bit. Speaking of that, NVH, or noise and vehicle harshness, is another thing. Around town, it's actually pretty quiet, doing like 20, 30, 40. You hear the engine a lot, which, I kind of like. On the highway, though, there is noticeable wind noise here. It's not bad, especially if you have music on or whatever, but it is, noticeable, even by trucks, standards. So ride qualities, even though this is the off-road suspension, it is not bad, ultimately. It's pretty comfortable. Like I said, these seats are nice. I did figure out this actually is a lumbar, this manual little knob here, which is kind of one less thing to break, I guess, because that's, I think, what a lot of people on a truck like this care about. Hey, I can get a truck for under 20 grand. I think these started like 17, 18, and they've stayed very affordable throughout the years. And of course, you can get them up into the 30s, fully loaded like this guy. I don't know if you really need all that stuff. It's nice, but for a compact truck, I don't personally know if I'd, fully option it out. A lot of people like to, and that's fine. And even then, the problem is then in the 30s, you're getting into price points more like the, Ranger, a lot of other kind of pricier, newer trucks. So I assume a lot of the sales on this are kind of the, the lower end trims. So final thoughts on this truck. Would I buy with my own money? I always think whenever I have a large truck, I definitely wouldn't need that unless I was like towing my boat, and I would probably just get a smaller truck like this, or a Ridgeline, or Toyota's version like the Tacoma. And now Americans are back in the game with the Colorado and the Ranger as well. So if I was just looking for a basic bare bones truck that does everything I needed, fairly well, and was at an affordable price and was pretty reliable, it has Nissan reliability, this one would definitely be on my list of, trucks you should drive and check out. Even though the truck's showing its age a little bit in certain ways, which is inevitable, it does what I think most people need it to do fairly well, and that's how sales, have actually gone up over time, because the prices of these, like I mentioned earlier, haven't gone up. Let me know any questions you have. This is kind of one of the shorter reviews down in the comment. A competent, solid, all-around small truck, and if that's what you're looking for, this is definitely one you should probably check out. Until next time, my speedy racers, drive on.